Hey y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 8 of the Book I Won't Write podcast. I am your host, Jahira Brooks, and it's so good to be back. I've been out of commission for about 2 weeks now, just getting a little mental reset going for myself. But we are back and better, baby. We are back and better. I'm going to wait for a couple more minutes to go ahead and get into my topic for tonight. But how have y'all been? I missed y'all. Y'all hop in the comments and let me know that you're watching. Say hey. Anybody who is catching the replay, just hashtag replay. Let me know that you watch. Let me know your takeaways. I miss y'all. It has been a minute. It's been what, 2 weeks now? It's been 2 weeks. I'm very excited to be back talking to you all tonight. The topic is something that has actually been my testimony for the past 2 weeks since I've been gone, actually. So I'm excited to get into that tonight, just be real vulnerable and transparent. But the topic for tonight is called the Jonah syndrome, and we're going to get into what that is in just a minute. But like I said, y'all hop on, say hey, let me know that you're watching because I can't see the viewers right now or any comments if y'all have said anything. But like I said, thank y'all for tuning in for episode 8. I cannot believe we are already on episode 8, and that's with me being gone for 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the topic for tonight. So we are talking about the Jonah syndrome, and what that is just running away from accountability, just lacking accountability, having assignments set in place, things that God has told you to do, or just things that you know you need to do, and then just running away from it, not wanting to do it. Um, Assignments, responsibilities, just anything that it is that you know you've got to get up and do. Even going to work can be one of those things. And sometimes we just clock out for a minute. Parenthood, as a mom, sometimes I have those days and it's like I quit. But it's like, Jahara, who the mama gonna be? It gotta be you. So I gotta pick up, where I left off. So I'm gonna be transparent. I lost my job back in 2019 when I was working at Walmart, and I attempted to go to the military, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And I was like, God, I just don't understand. And it was like a freak accident as to why I couldn't go. Like I was at MEPS and got turned around and had to come back home. And it's like, God, why would you do that? Like I'm not working. Like this was my end all be all plan. I didn't have a plan. And what I was running away from was my parents' rejection and disappointment. So it's like, I didn't want to deal with that. That's something I've never just been keen on identifying and really sitting in and dealing with was disappointing my family because I just felt like, I had to be at this level and I just could never achieve that goal that I had set for myself or that I felt they had set for me, not realizing that regardless of if you meet other people's expectations or not, the love is still going to be there. So that's something I was running from. And then I had to realize, and I realize now in retrospect, I was running from responsibility. I thought that I could just go to the military and then everything be taken care of without me ever having to establish work ethic for myself, without me ever having to set that boundary of, oh, okay, I need to be on time for work, I need to do this, that, and the third. um, and that's something that I dealt with for years, just trying to get that established for myself. Even now, my finances are where I ideally like for them to be, but God has provided every step of the way, and I reconsidered going again. But I had to realize to myself, you know, I was running away from being a parent. Now it's a new set of things that I'm running away from. I'm having like I was having issues just really finding my foot in parenthood and motherhood. A couple weeks ago, me and Jaleel got into it. Well, I got into it because she was laughing, playing, slobbing on me like normal, per usual. But I had just really reached my breaking point for the day. I was irritated about a lot of things. I was trying to do her hair. Her grandma do her hair in 20 minutes. It took me 2 hours. My brother here, my cousin here. I just knew I was finna go see everybody. I text birthday at like 2 something. I kid you not. This is no lie. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for tuning in. So I text birthday at 2 something. I'm like, where y'all at? She said they downtown. I'm thinking I'm finna go to Bates Food Hall and eat with them. I'm hungry. I ain't ate nothing all day. I'm tired, but I'm still trying to, get my life together so I can go spend time with my family before they go back to Atlanta. So then I'm trying to do Jaleel's hair. I'm trying to make sure she look like something because y'all, I don't do hair. I know y'all see this piece of hair I got sticking out my head right now. I don't do hair. Okay. I don't do my own. My ponytails may be decent on a good day, but I cheat with that because I put a hat on and y'all think my ponytail fine. But if you could just see the foundation of it, you see it really ain't hit for nothing. But my point is, I don't do hair and I got a little girl. So I'm like, God, why you just ain't give me a little boy? Why? And it's like, so you can instill the things that you needed as a child when you was growing up as a little girl into somebody else. Because you know all the things that you don't want, and now you know what it is that should be done and what you should have had growing up, not to take away from the things that you already had, and now you can instill it into your daughter. But it's like, so I don't do hair right, and I'm trying to do her hair, and she moving around, she going every which way. I'm like, Jaleel, please. You let your grandma do it. Why you can't be still for me? And she's sitting here laughing and playing, and I was calm. I was gentle parenting for the first hour. We hit hour number 2. Baby, I lost every type of religion I had. Honey, I lost my whole relationship with God. I had to rededicate my life by the time I got back home. Because, oh my God, why? Why? I'm talking to you nice. Okay, I let you run around for a good hour. Be still so we can go before these people go home, and now they're gonna be mad because I ain't spend no family time, and now I'm just the worst sister in the world. But nobody's even thinking like that. They understand, I got a 1-year-old. But again, I'm trying to run away from these problems that I'm having. I had text Christina. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Then I get to I finally get to mom and daddy's house. I think it's like 6 something. And that's after I had a whole break between 4 and 5 trying to calm down and pray. I'm speaking in tongues and everything. Ain't nothing working. I'm still irritated. And then I finally get over there to mom and daddy's house, and my sister-in-law Jessica's there. And she's like, I told her, I said, yeah, I quit today. I definitely quit being a mom today. She said, I understand. It's fine. It happens. I quit every day sometimes, and then I clock back in at 5. I said, sometimes that's what you have to do. But I had to understand, to my point, I had to understand I can't run away every time something isn't lining up how I would like it to line up. I can't run away just because I feel as though I'm not a great parent right now, because if I never continue to practice at it, if I don't put my best foot forward every day and learn the lessons I need to learn, if I can never pass the test of not being frustrated and losing my top whenever Jalea is being a baby, which she's supposed to be, then I can't ever, right, Chris, hey, thank you for tuning in, then I'll never be the mom that I want to be. I'll always down myself as being a terrible mom because I never learned the lessons that God has placed me in position to learn. So you can't run away from certain stuff, especially your responsibilities. Me being a parent, that's a responsibility, right? Nobody else can be the parent to her that I need to be to her. You can be a great auntie, a great godmama, grandmama, brother, uncle, sister, cousin, but you will never be to her the mother that God has called me and predestined for me to be to her. And that's something that I have to walk in and learn how to do to the best of my ability with God's help. So that's one of the things as far as running from assignment. That's why I called it Jonah syndrome, because God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, right? And preach to these people so that they could get their deliverance. And that's something that he didn't want to do. That's something that he didn't want to do, but it's an assignment. It's a work that God had for him to do. And he decided, I'm just finna go. I'm finna go somewhere else. So he go get on a boat, right? He think he finna take a break. So that's what I thought I was finna do. I thought I was finna go, to the military. And, I'll just come back after, whenever her daddy can watch. It's cool. I already talked to him about it. He fine with that. That's cool. But I'm finna go. I don't think this parenthood thing is for me. I don't want to do nothing no more. This seems like the easy route. This what I'm going with. Not to say that that's still not what God has planned for my life, but as of right now, I know specifically there are certain things that I need to get in order. I have to get better with my procrastination. I have to get better with just a whole lot of things. And it's God has set the stage for me here as far as doing my podcast, as far as working on this book that I said I won't go write, but I'm writing it anyway. And it's these different tasks and assignments God has put in my hands. And it's like I'm trying to ditch all of those things because I'd much rather take the easy route out. And that's the same thing Jonah did. So he was like, God, I don't want to talk to these people. I'm not doing that. So he left for a season. And God will sit there and he'll look at you, make all these plans of how you gonna run away and do all this stuff. Hey, God, mommy. And he'll just put a wrench in your plans because that's not his will for your life. Jonah's will from God, his predestined will, was for him to go to Nineveh and deliver God's people, deliver a message to his people that God knew would bring about repentance, so that city could be saved. So, like I said, Jonah left for a season, and now there's this wind. Look at there, we all on one accord. So, God sends this wind, and now there's this storm on the boat. So Jonah done went to sleep. And that tickled me, the fact that he was sleeping. He was completely unaware of what was going on, because we'll just be chilling outside of the will of God, just doing our own little thing. And this boat that we done made for ourselves, we think we done got over easy. And then there's people around us that's like, hey man, this is we having problems. What you got going? You the reason why we having problems? Because I'm connected to you. So you need to pray to your God, and maybe he'll give us an answer about what it is that's going on here. Because we ain't had no problems, so you got on the boat, buddy. And then Jonah had to come out and be like, you know what, you can go ahead and just throw me off, because I ain't even supposed to be on here. I'm not supposed to be on here no way. You having problems because of me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought I could run from God, but that ain't the case. And then as soon as they threw him off, storm stopped. Peace be still. Everything is everything. But the part I like about the story is what God revealed to me as I was getting prepared to come on here. It's the fact that we always fast and pray at Prophetic Fire, right? And God, we talked about the different types of fast in Sunday school just this past Sunday. And then one of the fasts that Pastor talked about was a complete fast. It's 3 days. You don't eat, you don't drink nothing. So that's the kind of fast Jonah was on. You got to think about it. What are you eating in the belly of a whale? What you gonna eat? What you gonna drink? So he has all this time to hear from God and really sit in his situation and say, you know what? I shouldn't have ran. This is what I need to do moving forward. Let me get this sermon together. I'm going to tell these people I don't want to do this. But clearly, I don't have a choice in the matter. I don't have a choice but to do what it is that God has told me to do. And it's the same way with us. God will put us in this season of isolation. We can't hear nothing from nobody. We can barely eat and sleep until we get an answer from God. I got fussed at just last week because I had missed 5 a.m. prayer. And Pastor called me and she was like, as much as you need from God, get up and pray. You need an answer from God. I'm like, ma'am, who are you talking to? you Church was Sunday. Don't call me on fire for the Lord at 5 something in the morning on a Monday. Okay. Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. I don't know what day it was. All I know is hey Candace, I'll never miss another 5 a.m. prayer call the way that lady fussed at me. And she was right. I didn't need an answer for God. And I got it this week by fasting and praying on last week. So sometimes when you get in that space, sometimes you get in, Wednesday, Christina, you just have to get in a place where you can't do anything but hear from God. You're not being distracted by outside opinions and voices that you hear. You're making sure that you're so tuned in that you know you're not going to miss God. You know it's not going to be something different than what God is saying. Because a lot of times we'll get so consumed. Hey, Mom. We'll get so consumed with what everybody else is saying and putting in our ear, and we lose complete focus on what it is that God said. While your opinion may be valid, but what you have to understand is the assignment is supernatural. These are divine instructions that we're getting from God when he gives them to us. And everybody's vision isn't going to be your vision. I saw a post the other day. It was like, your call, wasn't for everybody. It wasn't a conference call. Everybody's not going to understand. You can say it 27 different ways. I'm good at explaining stuff. You see me get on this podcast every week, well, for excluding the last 2 weeks, but I can explain anything. I can break anything down. You're going to understand what it is I'm trying to say before the end of the conversation. Okay? But it doesn't matter how good you explain it to somebody. If they don't have the vision, if they're not a destiny helper assigned to you to get the vision completed, they'll never understand it. It'll sound stupid to them. It'll sound so foolish to them because they're not in that mindset or that frame of understanding. And that's okay. You can't be deterred by that. And you can't halt your process or change what it is that God told you to do. You have to follow God's instructions to the letter. The same way Moses hit the rock, God ain't say nothing about that. And you're just doing other stuff just to do it. We can't do stuff just to do it in this season. You have to do exactly what it is that God is telling you to do. Pastor gave a word Sunday before last that it was our promotion season. We've been promoted, but we have to do stuff in a timely manner that God has called for us to do. We can't just half step no more. All that procrastination out the window, baby. When I said that, Leland worked all the procrastination bones I had in my body out last week. Oh my God, I love her for it. I do. I respect it when she not texting me and calling me. But out in the moment, because it hindered my flesh from operating how it always has. When you haven't always operated in a spirit of excellence, you don't know what that looks like, and it's uncomfortable. And it forced me to change. It forced me out of my norm. And of course, I kicked against it. Of course, I didn't like it because I'm not used to having that structure. I'm not used to doing what it is I need to do in a timely manner. And it irritated me every time she texted me, every time she called me. Jahari, you need to check in. What you got going on? What you planning to do for today? No, you need to do something else. You're not finna take a nap. You finna take a nap, set an alarm for 2 hours, and call me when you get up. Girl, ma'am, pastor, lady, woman of God, I love you. But please, I'm finna block you. Okay? Thank you. But if I had done that, I would have blocked my blessings. I would have blocked my growth. So I thank God for my lovely pastor. Hey, Domisha, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. But like I said, you have to follow God's instructions down to the letter. You got to do exactly what it is that he said, because you don't know the increase that'll bring for you. You don't know how many people you're going to be set up to bless just by you being obedient to what he told you to do. The same way visionaries of jobs have this vision for what they want their business to be. They're just following the plan that they have set, what God said. They don't know how many jobs that's going to open up. They don't know how many resources that's going to pour back into the community. They're just doing what it is that God said to do. So like I said, you don't know who you're going to bless by your obedience. That's why it's important to be obedient, not even just for the other people, but just so that you don't stop your blessings from God. When your life is at a standstill and ain't nothing working out right, think about it. It's because you're in that incubator period. You're in that season, that fast, that mandatory fast that God has supernaturally put you on, until you can get your thoughts and yourself together and say, all right, God, I'm gonna give you a yes for real. I'm gonna go ahead. When I get out of this place, when I get out of the belly of the well, whatever your belly of the well experience is, God, I'm running full force into what you told me to do. But the thing about Jonah is, God done got the man out the belly of the well. Okay, he ain't got to smell sushi and fried fish no more. Okay, and he forgot where he came from. He get out of there. He half step. He give the word that God told him to give, and then he gonna sit up and be mad. He gonna sit up and be mad because things didn't go how he would want them to go. He got mad because other people got their breakthrough and their deliverance. How you gonna get mad because the same God that we preach about, we talk about, we sing about, does it for somebody else the same way he does it for you? Who are we to sit in the seat of God and say, oh, well, they don't deserve that. They do this, that, and the third. Who are we to count something against somebody? Who are we to have unforgiveness in our hearts towards somebody? As much as we need forgiveness from God for the stuff that we do on a daily basis, because we sin every single day. I don't care if you just scrolling and say something about Netta and Miss Charles. Hey, you're sinning. Okay? Keep your mouth off people. But whether it's big or small, we still need that grace. We still need that mercy. Hey, Shy. We still need the same things that we don't want. It's so crazy, especially as Christians. You get the mean Christians that just be so caught up and wrapped up in religion. Oh, well, you shouldn't do this and that. God ain't going to bless no mess. Baby, God done bless your mess. Well, he done bless you in spite of your mess. So who are you to put somebody to heaven or hell and tell somebody what God can and can't do for them? Who are you to tell somebody what blessings gonna be held up? Did God tell you to say that? No. That's just your emotions and your high thinking speaking for you. So God done delivered the people. He done granted their request. And Jonah sent up there mad. And then another thing about the story is he ends mad. Jonah ends, he don't never get no resolve. He don't never get back happy. He just stay mad. Don't stay mad in this season. When things don't go right how you want them to go, or when God moves in a different plan than what you thought should have been, than what you had planned out for your own life, don't stay mad. Don't let that be the end of your story. Jonah could have did, because apparently Jonah had to be a great prophet for God to even position him to go speak to these people, to deliver a whole city of people. You got to have some kind of power in God on the inside of you for God to give you an assignment that great, that big. Jonah could have been much longer than 4 chapters, I believe, had Jonah changed his mindset. But he stayed mad. That's all we hear about Jonah. We just know that he stayed mad. Don't be that Christian. Don't be that individual that stays mad when God don't do what it is that you wanted him to do. God has not done a lot of the things that I thought I wanted him to do. And now I was just talking to Christina today. Baby, just go ahead and wrap this up. We can wrap this. It's 8:22. We can wrap this up by 8:30. The way I'm feeling. And God, I see why you said no. I get it. I understand. I don't always like it. And at 8:45, I might still cry about it, but I get it. And even in the moments when you don't get it, you have to understand it's all for a purpose. And that's so easy to say across this computer screen to you. But trust me, this book of prayer templates I done felt every last one of them. I didn't want to do this book. Baby, I got the third prayer. Yeah, God. Yeah. Get somebody else to do it. I know this assignment you gave me. I know I done told these people I was going to write a book. They'll forget. I ain't even been on here in 2 weeks. They don't remember nothing about no book. Matter of fact, the podcast is called The Book I Won't Write. So they probably going to think I'm role playing. It's the book I won't write. Ain't going to write. God, I don't. If I got to feel these prayers, I got to feel everything it is that I'm praying. No. Because I had to understand that the heart it takes to write out these prayers that can convey what a multitude of people is feeling, you have to go through some of that. One of the things I can't stand is for somebody to give me advice or to preach to me and you ain't been through nothing. I think I talked about that maybe the second episode. Don't get up there preaching like you ain't never did nothing before in your life. That's why I love that Alicia Lyons Cooper. You hear me? That lady's so transparent. That lady more transparent than plastic wrap. I ain't never seen nothing like it. Listen here. Don't get up here and talk to me about anything. You ain't felt it. You ain't been through it. Everything I put in that prayer, procrastination, childhood trauma, praying for kids when you irritated and you feel like you failing at parenthood. I done felt every last one of these things that I'm praying about. Change, letting go, grief. Everything that I put in there is my heart. It's our heart to God, so that we can get results, so that we can get manifestation. And then not only that, but I made sure to incorporate the word because, like I told y'all, God don't move off emotions. He cares. He bottles every tear that we cry. He does. He's a shelter in the time of storm. But listen here, if you not putting no word on it, yeah, you can table that. You might as well have to just talk to somebody else and cry, because you're gonna get the same exact result. Nothing. And God will move sometimes. He ain't just no mean God. Well, he just don't hear nothing we say. But at some point, you have to grow in your prayer life. And you have to say, you know what, God, this is what you said. I'm giving your word back to you. This is a promise you made to me. So I'm finna cash in on it. Go ahead and make that happen for me. Respectfully. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. But I just want to encourage y'all tonight. Don't try to run from your assignments. Don't try to run from your responsibilities. Because even if you try to run, God gonna catch you. God gonna catch you, and he gonna make you sit in what it is that you don't want to sit in. You're going to have to face the reason why you want to run. I had made a reel. I think I put it on TikTok. I don't think I put it on Facebook. I put it on TikTok about how I had therapy. I was going to therapy every week on Thursdays. And it got to a point where, I was doing good. I'm laughing. I'm kicking, cacaing the whole hour just about. And then so my therapist was like, Jahara, it seems like you're doing good. You got a good system going for you. So we're going to cut these down to maybe like once a month or every 2 weeks. First week came. Life hit. I'm like, all right, God, I can hold out one more week. Let me pray. Let me pray. Second week come, I don't get no notification. It's Wednesday. I check my email, nothing. I'm like, maybe she just forgot. Maybe she gonna say something on Thursday. We just gonna hop on like we usually do. Baby, Thursday came and went. I'm going through hell and high water. I'm screaming, crying, punching doors, just screaming into my pillow, screaming out loud. I'm just having a mental breakdown. Baby, where you at? I need you. And then God had to show me, Jahar, what you need therapy for? What's the problem? Hmm? You just want to tell the tale about your day and the people in your life? Because therapy is to make change. It's to change your thought process. Are you going to change the way you think? Are you going to change the way you handle your business when you place in these same situations? Because this is nothing new to you. You've been going through the same thing for weeks and months. And you fail every single week and month. So at some point, it's not something that needs to be discussed anymore. It's something that needs to change. You need to change your thought process, and you need to change what it is that you're doing. Hey, Tab, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. So it's like you don't need therapy. Everything isn't a conversation. Everything is an event session. Sometimes you just need to go to God in prayer, and even then, He hears you. Now it's time because God will give you the strategy. He'll tell you what it is that you need to do. I prayed about procrastination so many times. I said, God, I have no type of drive. I have been so lazy. I'm unmotivated. I don't want to do anything. Baby, Pastor came across that pulpit 2 weeks ago. I told her, I said, baby, if you want to name the sermon Jahira, all you had to do was say that. That was fine. That was fine. I wasn't going to be mad and leave the church and then, but if you wanted to read me for filth like that, you could have just, said my name. You don't have to just go that hard. And it's like, but I needed that. And then she followed up with action, because it's one thing to just preach it and then you do with the word what you may. But in this season, she was on me like white on rice. Like, hey, I need a plan daily. I'm like, okay, so this going to be like maybe a 1 or 2 day thing. She said, no, it ain't going to stop until you ready. Because I have a tendency, I can be open and transparent about this. I can be super real with you. I have a tendency, I'll do good for a season. I'll do good. I've always been the type of person where I need like accountability. I do stuff to make other people happy. I never really did it for me. I do stuff so I can get the kudos, the accolades, the pat on the back. Okay, Jahira, you're doing good, because I always dealt with rejection. So it's like, okay, Jahira, I see you. You're doing good. I'm proud of you. So it's easy for me to say, Pastor, okay, look, this is my plan for the day. Da 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 da. I did this, that, and the third. And then next tomorrow, she'll be like, all right, Jahira, I release you from checking in every day. And then I'll go right back to, sleeping in, being late everywhere I go, doing stuff. Baby, it's Saturday. Gabe got a birthday party at Great Wolf Lodge. The party started at 12. You need to be there at 11:55. You can't be late no more to nothing in this season. You got to be on time. You got to operate in the spirit of excellence. Baby, it's a birthday party. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Leave me alone before I block you. And explain it on Sunday. It's Saturday. Leave me be. But you see, it starts with the small things. Okay? So if I would say I was one of those people who get easily offended and just leave the church at a drop of a hat every time a word come across the pulpit that's I don't agree with or that just hurts my feelings, and I left, I never understand the lesson. I never get to a place of accountability within myself. I never get to a place of, doing the work and doing what it is I need to do to get the success that I pray to God for, to get the finances that I pray for, to get all of these things that I want God to do for me. Because I told you before, sometimes we pray and ask God for stuff and we're not ready for it yet. God could drop it in all that right now. We mess it up by tomorrow. All the money gone. We done ate out. We done helped people that don't even care about us for real. You over here sowing $500 into terrible ground. Baby, ain't nothing gonna grow out of there. Nothing at all. And a lot of times we feel like just because we growing, other people are growing with us. But you got to understand that a weed and a flower grow in the same soil. And sometimes we think that people are flowers. Dandelions ain't nothing but a weed. And we just picking up the dandelions, put them in our hair, just showing them off to everybody, giving them away to people. And baby, that ain't no flower. That is a weed. These people strangling the life out of you. Spiritually. mentally and emotionally, you don't even see it. You don't even realize it. While you over here trying to be connected to other people. So when God shifts you and tells you to do these things, you need to go ahead and do it. By yourself, you have to learn how to be accountable and how to receive blessings by yourself before you try to bless other people or before you try to preach to other people. The same way Pastor always says, I went through this all week long before I could give you this message. It hit me first. It's going to hit the preacher first. I can come on here and talk to you about procrastination and running away from problems because that was me. that was me. I was trying to run away. I done called all the people I need to call. I done cross-reference stuff. I done set up everything in my mind. You know how black folks do it. If I do this right here, then my check gonna be about this amount. And you see, I can save this, and then by this time, rent will be paid. I'll have diapers on my baby, and I can eat out like 4 times. I can eat steak and not like no chicken nuggets from McDonald's. That's how we do. But you see, you you have to understand how you can't, like I said, you can't run from stuff. You have to learn the lessons. And sometimes the lessons are hard, and they wouldn't even be so hard if we learn them and apply what it is that God has already given us the first time. That wasn't the first message I heard on procrastination. That ain't the first time God done dealt with me about procrastination. I done lost so many jobs because of my procrastination and lack of accountability. That was not the first time. But it's just like in this season, God's not letting up on me. He's just like, hey, let's go ahead and get together. I don't want to hear that damn another prayer about provision, finances, you wanting better for yourself when you can't do better for yourself with what you have. Everything that you need, you already have it. Everything that you need to be successful, you have. If I never get support from anybody else, God has given me tools. God has given me strategy and ideas. But if I never implement them, if I never apply them because I'm trying to run to what I think is better, to what makes sense to me, then I'll never experience the bountifulness of the blessings that God has in store for me. I'll never experience that E320 season, as we call it, that exceedingly abundantly above all I can ask or think. Because that's the thing. I'm thinking about it. If I can think it, that's not abundance. That's not abundance. God is infinite in his wisdom. God is so strategic. He done already planned out what he want to do for you. And you running over here trying to get something that you see that's shining. Whole time, it's a soda can. You thinking it's diamonds when you on in the valley looking to the top of the hill, and that ain't even what it is. That's not what it is. So I would just encourage you all tonight, to take into account what I said. Make sure that you are active in your progress, that you are doing the work, that when you pray for stuff, hey, Brie, how are you? That when you pray for things, you implement what it is that God tells you. Because a lot of times God doesn't give us tangible things in our hand. He gives us strategy. He gives us wisdom. And it's up to you to apply it. Why wait on something when you can work what you got? It's work. That's why we don't like to do it. We don't like to get our hands dirty. We don't like to take accountability. I've always run from accountability, or I have like a measure of accountability. But as far as maintaining it, get somebody else to do it. Because that took too much work, because it's outside of what I'm used to doing. If you're not used to being held accountable all the time, you're used to having a fallback plan, it's hard for you to work past, doing the little amount that you used to do, putting a little bit of effort in that you used to. When you've always had a backup plan, somebody's always looked out for you, provided for you, and when God moves everybody's hand up off of you, and it's like, nah, you got to make some shape for yourself. Oh, that's hard. That is hard. But you can do it, though. It's heavy, but you can handle it. So I just want to say that I love y'all so much. And I know that it was heavy, but just digest it. Take it down in pieces, rewatch it, and apply it. Don't just hear what I said and let it fall to the ground and you don't apply it. Because guess what? You can learn the test now and pass, or, you can flunk and stay back or grade. And I don't want you to do that. No child left behind. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. And don't forget that you can pre-order the book that I have coming out, Prayer Still Works. which is a collection of prayer templates that are guaranteed to grow you spiritually in your prayer life. And just a disclaimer, these prayers are just like a jump start to your actual prayer life. If you don't know how to pray, if you do know how to pray, but there are certain things that you know you've been praying for, you've been so consumed with other things going on in your life that you haven't taken the time out to pray for the other aspects of your life, then this gives you a strategy to do that. And also, I encourage you to build your own prayer life with God. This is just a head start for you. But of course, pray however it is that you want to pray. This is just to give you some structure and make sure that you always apply the word in your prayers, because that is what moves God. So I love y'all, and I'm not going to keep on saying good night. So good night. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next week on Monday for episode 9.